Let's talk valve stem seals for the MGB. Here are the two different types. Basically, it's an O-ring, that's the factory type. Then a lot of guys, and Moss considers this an upgrade, is the Vuitton rubber positive seal. I really think the O-ring is all you need. There's a lot of debate in the MGB community about that. I've never had trouble just using the O-ring on several heads. If you have oil on startup, it might be more likely you need new valve stem guides, really, because those get worn. So if you do opt for this Vuitton type upgraded seal, here's the Moss part number, 290890. And I'll give you quick the O-ring type from Moss. 297108 is the O-ring, a lot cheaper of course as well. Now if you do go for that positive seal, the Vuitton one, that fits over valve guide like that. When you do that, there is a little metal clamp around there that does open slightly and provides pressure on there. Now if I were just to push that valve up through, you can see the stem comes up through it. The idea is that prevents oil from getting down in through into the valve. Actually makes a pretty tight seal there. One problem is sometimes these pop up and they're just riding on the valve stem after, heat cycles and everything. Now the O-ring type, that rides in here, and I'll show you where everything goes here in a second. The idea with that is oil comes out of the rockers and it's not allowed then down the stem, and the oil comes over and just kind of gets oil sprayed on the other springs and everything. So it certainly doesn't go down in. That's all that's necessary really. Now if you're replacing valve seals while the head is in the car, obviously I've got the head out of the car here. If it's on the car, you need this type, which I hate. And what you would do is you can fill the in through the spark plug hole. You can use like clothesline rope, bring it up the top dead center, and that just will prevent the valve from falling down onto the piston. The rope is fine to do that. So this type would have to go on and you push it, and what a pain. So with it off, I'm going to show you how to put on this O-ring type seal. Now before I put it together, let me show you where the O-ring will essentially go. It doesn't go in this indent there. That is of course for the keepers that I have one shown on there. The O-ring will actually end up riding below the keeper there, and it basically sits in the bottom of the spring holder here, and it'll be stretched out as a little lip in there to prevent it from going down on the valve. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing we'll do is get I put the valve in and up through, and we've got the spring on, and I've got my valve spring compressor here straight from Amazon or eBay. Oops, and we'll start to compress the spring. Before we're putting any seals on or anything, we're compressing the spring. And we'll get it down a good bit. Because now what we want to do, and this is the hard part, and it's kind of cold in the garage today, is get the rubber seal over the valve and push down past that indent for the keepers and down further. So I will play with this for a little bit. It takes. Okay, I finally got it to go to the indent at least. Rolled it. Now we'll just get it past that. Boing, there it goes down. Okay, so it's decent way down there. The top of the spring holder will kind of bring it back up if it goes down kind of far there. And now I'll even push it down a little bit with the keepers here. So let's see how much, there we go. I'll put that first keeper in there and just kind of press the rubber down with that too. Let's see if I've got enough here, and I'll get the second keeper in on the other side. That feels pretty good. So let's start to bring off the tension, lefty-loosey. Whoop, making sure that keeper stays in there good. And I think we're in good shape. So like I said, the top of this spring retainer will kind of bring that rubber back up, that O-ring, and it sits right below the keepers in there. And boom, it's all set. So that shouldn't be able to see it or anything because the rubber is up inside. Let me grab one of my others here. That rubber O-ring stays in the underside, right up in here of the top of the spring. And like I said, that is enough, should be enough. If you're doing an engine rebuild, a head rebuild, I think those O-rings are great, sufficient. That's what I've had on my MG now. And boy, it doesn't smoke a bit or anything. That's it for today. Like, subscribe. We'll see you around. I got the bee under a cover right now. We're getting into the winter. Thanks.